It is therefore my honor and privilege to be speaking to you on this occasion, the handover of the Mobile Refuelling Station. First and foremost, as the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, we would like to acknowledge and appreciate the critical role that the Northwest University and Toyota South Africa Motors played in the development of the Mobile Refuelling Station. In addition, we also acknowledge Northwest University and the African Rainbow Minerals for the establishment of a rapid prototype training and testing facility. These significant milestones are testimony of the importance of public-private sector partnerships in advancing hydrogen mobility for the decarbonization of the transport sector in the South African hydrogen economy agenda. Before I speak about today's milestones, let me remind us that this launch takes place just 3 days after we celebrated Freedom Day, which is the commemoration of our first democratic elections, held in South Africa on the 27th of April 1994, which is a day representing the democratic breakthrough, thus reminding us and encouraging us to celebrate as South Africans progress that has been made since. And this day represents, or it serves as a reminder of the need to continue with the national project of unifying our people in their diversity. As we reflect on these strides we made over the past 3 decades, it is extremely important that we remind ourselves, and in particular our young people, that our independence was attained through great sacrifices, underscoring their significant role in shaping the nation's social and economic landscape. Despite comprising a large share of the labor force, the South African youth continue to grapple with high unemployment, largely due to a lack of relevant skills. Education remains a crucial factor in employment outcomes. The opening of the rapid prototype training and testing facility and the handover of the mobile refueling station is therefore one of the practical examples of a key initiatives that have the potential to bridge the gap between education and the world of work through innovation, skills, entrepreneurship, and experiential learning. We view today's engagement as one of the defining moments that will enable us to practically implement our ministry's motto of placing science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, education, society, and the industry. The hydrogen economy does not just align with some of the strategic pillars of our decadal plan of science, technology, and innovation, such as energy innovation and circular economy. We also recognize the potential of hydrogen economy in playing a catalytic role in our country's just energy transition, and must simultaneously stimulate meaningful and inclusive and sustainable economic growth that can ultimately contribute towards addressing the country's triple challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The National Development Plan recognizes that science, technology, and innovation are fundamental pillars necessary to drive inclusive economic growth, thus fostering job opportunities and socio-economic transformation throughout our nation. Our commitment as a department is underpinned by government's desire to create a conducive hydrogen innovation ecosystem supported by skills development and a capable and competent skills workforce. Through these deployments, we also seek to demonstrate government commitment in advancing hydrogen mobility in South Africa and demonstrating the tangible progress being made in building an integrated hydrogen and fuel cell value chain, as well as hydrogen's ability to be one of the zero-emission solutions for the decarbonization of the hard-to-abate transport sector, such as heavy-duty trucks, shipping, aviation, by providing high energy density and fast refueling. Through these deployments, we also intend to contribute to the advancement and the promotion of locally developed intellectual property and entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are experiencing and seeing today is a culmination of the work that started in 2007 when Cabinet approved a 15-year Hydrogen South Africa strategy, HISA, which is currently being implemented through 3 centers of competence, including the HISA Infrastructure Center of Competence at Northwest University, which led to the development of this mobile refueling station. The HISA strategy is aimed at creating knowledge, human resource capacity, enabling the development of high-value commercial activities in hydrogen fuel cells technologies through adding value to the country's platinum group metals resources. Allow me to also mention that the mobile refueling station is a follow-up to the deployment of a fuel cell-powered forklift and refueling station, which in 2015 at Impala Platinum Refineries, a PGM's producer led by HASA Systems Center of Competence at the University of the Western Cape, to support the scalability and the uptake of the clean hydrogen solutions. Cabinet approved the Hydrogen Society Roadmap in 2021 with an intention of leveraging on South Africa's abundant mineral and renewable energy resources such as solar and onshore wind. The Hydrogen Society Roadmap is South Africa's overarching blueprint document that articulates the country's aspirations in developing a local hydrogen economy, which will serve as a major differentiator for South Africa's energy, transport, and industrial sectors, with substantial export potential and sustainable local manufacturing that is globally competitive. Mobile fueling station is essential in ensuring that the Hydrogen Society's roadmaps, high-level outcome, as we have indicated on the decarbonization of transport sectors, such as heavy-duty trucks, shipping, aviation, and rail. We have acknowledged progress that we have made through these developments. However, we do acknowledge, and we should, as government officials, acknowledge gaps that have been identified by experts and our partners. And these gaps relate to the lack of effective coordination and the integration of various initiatives which are likely to limit South Africa's full realization of the benefits that could be derived from the hydrogen economy. I am pleased to announce that the inaugural Cabinet-approved Inter-Ministerial Committee on Hydrogen Economy meeting, which was chaired by the Deputy President, was convened on the 17th April this year. The IMC is aimed at improving and addressing these coordination problems and alignment, particularly across the public sector, to make sure that we better and effectively implement the hydrogen society and the green hydrogen commercialization strategy and either hydrogen economy related policies and strategies at national, provincial, and local government levels. The Inter-Ministerial Committee on Hydrogen Economy is also expected to ensure a single point of entry for all engagements related to the hydrogen, an enabling environment for effective project execution through an integrated and programmatic approach, the optimal allocation and usage of resources across identified catalytic projects. As you may be aware, energy transitions hinge on sound domestic policy frameworks and strategic private and public sector partnerships. We view the collaboration between the department, industry partners, HISA, NWU, as reflecting a mature and well-structured partnership model grounded in scientific excellence and policy alignment. We are of the view that the mobile refueling station and a rapid prototype training facility and testing facility are strategic enabling infrastructure components that support the decarbonization of the transport sector, in line with the vision of the 2021 Hydrogen Society Roadmap. demonstrates the commercial viability of hydrogen mobility technologies, integrates publicly funded IP developed through Hydrogen South Africa programs into real-world applications, strengthens South Africa's positioning within emerging hydrogen value chain. In addition, today's official opening and handover of these milestones and the partnership between our department, Northwest, Toyota South Africa Motors, and African Rainbow Minerals is publicly affirming the required strong public-private sector partnership which must underpin the hydrogen mobility ecosystem. It's signaling industry commitment to localization, manufacturing, and future hydrogen vehicle deployment, enhancing investor confidence in South Africa's hydrogen economy, reinforcing alignment between the Hydrogen South Africa program and the private sector commercial pathways, providing a platform to showcase South Africa's progress ahead of key continental and global hydrogen engagements. Ladies and gentlemen, our government remains fully committed to advancing hydrogen economy agenda and infrastructure investments in projects such as Mobile Refuelling Station and rapid prototype training and testing facilities as one of the cornerstones required to achieve this vision. The key factors remain clear: cost competitiveness, credible certification, infrastructure readiness, and inclusivity. If we get this right, demand creation will not only sustain the hydrogen economy, but make it a true driver of a just and sustainable energy transition.